In this twin flame energy update, I'm going to share with you 3 things that will help you stay in power as we go through the gateway to reunions here on the full moon lunar eclipse, June 5th of 2020. Fellow flames, in case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. Today I'm going to share with you 3 things that can help you stay in power during this gateway of energy that we have starting on June 5th at the full moon in Sagittarius at 12:12 Pacific Standard Time. And it's also a partial lunar eclipse. And it's the opening portal of this gateway that's going to be 2 lunar eclipses happening on June 5th and July 5th, with a solar eclipse smack in the middle on the equinox of June 21st here in the Northern Hemisphere. The theme of the energy for this powerful full moon, as if they haven't been powerful enough, is to activate your inner flame, to awaken your inner warrior, so you can then accept where you are and then align with your destiny, basically. And that includes twin flame reunions, and that includes anything with this eclipse that is left unsettled with friends, family, the flame, anything collectively that's not been completed or come full circle or created some kind of closure to it. This is dating back all the way to closure of things that were from 2010 to now. So it's like a 10-year cycle. But even something that could have been going on right around that 2012 time frame when the ascension process started, we're revisiting closures to those things. I've seen my own pattern of something that this timeline closes out for 2010, also 2012, both being connected to the flame that actually linked to this portal as a reconnection and a reunion that literally took place in the physical today, on a sense of reconnecting and being in the physical space. Not planned, but happened. And I won't go into those details. And when I say that, I'm talking about the true twin flame in my case, because I have a lot of ascension teachers. So I'm here to tell you what I've been saying to you is very real. And I'm seeing this with clients as well. So if you're one of those people that's having some kind of a reunion take place with the flame, or friends or family, or anything that you're revisiting these cycles, please leave me a comment below and let me know what's going on in your world during this timeline of all this energy shift. And let's talk about the energy first here specifically. So, with this being in Sagittarius, it's a fire energy. It is very expansive. It's all about, again, that we've been working for facing our fears to finding the freedom, which Sagittarius is both of those, because Sagittarius can be a very fearful energy, but yet they want freedom. And there's a lot of transformation that has to take place to go from the fear to the freedom. We have to face certain things. We have to be willing to revisit like these places that we're being taken to see what we need to see and be aware of what we need to be aware of. The other thing in this, just to kind of as a side note, we have Venus in retrograde in this energy, which is also bringing out anything from the past that hasn't had closure to, that's coming through the portal, just even through that Venus, that is astrologically revisiting these cycles and this closure and these circles. So you could be experiencing an abrupt redirect to revisit these things, like it or not. So I want to prepare you for that. So if you happen to be somebody that's going through this, to create one of these revisits through this abrupt energy that you're not even expecting, that is preparing you to stand up, speak up, and reclaim that power, and really even activate throat chakra and clear a lot of throat chakra during this timeline, then stay tuned, because I want to share with you those 3 things that I mentioned. So the number one thing that you can do during this energy to claim your power back is choose to forgive. And I could not stress this enough. Primarily, I would say in this timeline, it's going to be with your twin flame. And primarily in this timeline, I'm going to say it's not even about Atlantis in the past. It's about this life. It's about choosing to handle the way that things have happened in the past in your new way of vision, in your new way of thought, in your new way to say, I choose just to let go of, like, let bygones be bygones. I don't have to think about the old terms and the old energy, like even a year ago, of like, okay, we have to catch up and we have to rehash this out and we have to do this from a place that, got to say a lot of words. I want you to know that this can be done without words. And the goal of the reason this is happening is because this energy is all about the reunion of self with your flame, with the family, and with the friends, even if there's been some kind of separation with any of them or yourself. This is about bringing that unity within. So regardless of where you have been in this, and regardless of how hard it is, and regardless of how much pain you might have experienced from this, now is the time for you to really become like that bigger person and to make a conscious choice that you can let bygones be bygones, as I mentioned. I know that is easier said than done, but it is very important as far as the greatest gift we can give ourselves. If we continue to hang on to that past, there's going to be no way to the future in the new way that we handle things, in the new way that we do things. And I want you to know that on a bigger scheme and a bigger scale, this is all divinely constructed to where these reunions in this timeline are going to be happening kind of accidental, abruptly, and without any planning. And so therefore, what I guess a piece of this is, you're not going to have time for this preparation or this planning that you may have thought that you needed to heal this when you reunite with them. You literally just need to know that it's a new starting place. It's ground zero. And no matter what happens in the ground zero, even if it is an old pattern or an old trigger or maybe triggering some of the old things, it's about you can handle them and your responses in a new way, your thoughts in a new way, and your choices in a new way of what you're allowing in by not owning this for anyone, that you are claiming your power back now by choosing to say, I can let bygones be bygones. And then the second thing that you can do to claim your power during this time is you can choose to rise above any bruised emotions of the past that this incident, even in a new timeline, could trigger, if you allow it to, the same way you might have responded before. And I had this experience today. It wasn't like it was before, but it wasn't like it had been. And I could have easily allowed that to basically trigger me the way it had in the past. And I even felt that come through as if it was going to. And I realized I still had a little bit of a bruised emotion there. And I realized that that pain and those wounds were still being a little triggered. And that I knew enough about this journey that I knew I couldn't focus on any old stories, or that I needed to let the past be the past and to let go of what had happened in the past, and so that I can stop living in the past, basically, and allow ourselves in this place to accept where we are in this state, and to know that in this state, anything that may have happened may not even, I'm just going to throw this out there, may not even be forgivable. Everything's forgivable, but let's say that it has to be two-way forgiveness to fully meld in that union of, say, sometimes a physical space. However, two wrongs don't make a right. We can look at the collective energy right now. This is a similar thing. When it comes to the actions of people and, say, making a peaceful protest is one thing, but the minute you retaliate and you start to create and destroy and to do things out of the old pain and the spite and the old ways, you've kind of lost your case at that point. You've kind of lost your point. You kind of lost the theme of what you were trying to protest in that, because two wrongs isn't going to make a right. It's only going to negate what your original intention was. And so if you didn't basically choose to rise above the old past, you could be missing out on the gift of the moment and really being heard, because as I mentioned, this energy is all about standing up, speaking up, and being heard, and the throat chakra is going to be affected. So in one end, it's going to be about you being able to express, maybe say your emotions, but maybe express them in a new way. Don't express them from the pain that you had experienced before. Don't express them from the fear of the lack and the limitation, or the fear of the outcome. Maybe express them in a place of gratitude. And what I will tell you for myself personally, I've been in this state of gratitude for about 2 weeks that has been just non-stop feeling of influx of just grace and gratitude. And then I also got to tell you, I was in yoga this morning, and basically she at the end said, call in anyone that maybe is somebody that you haven't saw in a while, and that you maybe need to just find and feel gratitude and send them gratitude. And she said even maybe, and then basically I was going through this list of people and it kept moving, and then it went through this layer into the flame, and I was and I saw very clearly it was where I was supposed to put the energy and the intention. And then, from that moment, then she ended up saying, maybe you want to go give that person a call afterwards and just thank them or speak to them or share with them. Well, in my case, I didn't have to go give a call. I had some things that were being directed into where I knew the potential or the possibility would be that I would reconnect with the twin. But of course I didn't know, and it wasn't like I planned it to begin with. So, and it, it did, we crossed paths. And what I will tell you is I ended up getting adjusted, and my neck and vertigo and dizziness that I've been having for 3 years, that was from a new injury I'd received where him and I had some things 3 years ago we were revisiting, and since that time he hasn't adjusted me, and I haven't also asked for it, but I got adjusted today. And I've been undergoing treatment, as you guys have heard me say. I've been undergoing treatment since August through chiropractic treatment of someone else saying, you can't be the only person in the world to adjust me, but let me tell you something, you rocked my world, put my head on straight, and I can see clearly now. And I think the vertigo went away just from that movement, and it moved so much it was like move my head off my neck. But I didn't mean to exactly get off on that amount of me, but I think that it's so important that you understand that this is happening to revisit, to heal. One thing I did know, I knew that it was beyond our physical connection. There's more to what was happening than that connection. And the connection, technically I could look at it as in the past, that it, didn't resolve anything in one plane and on another it did, you know, or I could, because of any expectation that I didn't have, but if I placed one, I could end up in those old places. And I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose to rise above any past. I'm going to choose to rise above any of the bruised emotions. And I'm going to choose that I'm going to stay in power. And I'm going to choose that I'm not going to be robbed of that energy that would only be claiming things for him. And I don't need to do that anymore. So you really, in what you do at this place, you don't have to prove to anyone or justify to anyone about where you're at and need validation. And so for any of your responses or reactions, so in that, you know, let go of the need to need something back from anything or anyone that validates you or that justifies your need for something. That way you can stay in the power of it's being your choice. So note that I'm in these 3 things to claim power. I want you to know I'm using the word choose that came through. As I said, choose forgiveness, choose to rise above these bruised emotions. And the third one is choose to take a new way of action. So in that kind of a summary of everything I just said, you get to choose to view the situation from your new state of being. You get to choose the way you now think about it. You get to choose how you're going to let those emotions, like maybe feel them, hear them, listen to that inner child, become the divine mother, nurture that inner child, but do not let that inner child have a tantrum in a sense that goes rampant to the old problem. Choose in this moment just to say, I can respond in my new template and kind of stop it at that. Otherwise, as I said, you're giving away the power. You're taking that on for them. And then out of that, when you choose the new way of either the situation, you know, viewing it, how you feel about it, how you're going to take action with it, I want you to know that it doesn't matter what your choice was or what you do, that however you ended up doing it is okay. Even if that meant it dug up some more wounds, those wounds only need to come to the light to see, to view from a new state of place of where you're at now versus where you would have been, like, say, 3 years ago. And so that gives you opportunity to release more, to see more, to fill in, to create more space for more clarity of your future and how you're going to handle things. And most importantly in that, you're no longer sabotaging yourself or shutting yourself down, you know, because what I will tell you is, in my experience that happened today, and, you know, it was a lot about this throat chakra, which is his and I's whole checkmate of opposite ends of that, you know, I could feel that closing off. I could feel myself almost going into like a state of not being able to speak how I normally would. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do it perfect, right? I didn't do it how I would have done it if I'd have planned it out, but I didn't plan it out and I didn't think about it. So the thing about it is that all I know is I'm not going to sit around and assume anything that went on with him or sabotage anything of myself that I should have done differently, because I feel like that I know for a fact it was all divinely constructed. It was all in perfect order. Therefore, how I handled it made it perfect for me, and especially how I was able then to view my day, my forward motion, and stay in power. And I got to tell you, I felt like such a goddess. So a piece of that I will tell you probably is we're not the same people as 3 years ago when he adjusted me the last time 3 years ago in June. And as in, like, in 2010, I had moved into an office building with him. And in 2012, I had kind of moved out. And my revisiting this pattern in May of going to be doing some in-person healing services in his, not his office, but in his building that is his building, and through like a space that my friend has in there. And so in that, you know, as that's coming full circle. That was nothing I either consciously planned either. It just happened. So get prepared, because you just never know. And you know where this goes as it goes forward with any and all of us. Stay in your lane, stay in your power. Don't let anything or anyone rob you of the power or pull you out of alignment with your personal self. I feel like I'm at the best I've ever been. And I could, in one side of this, I could look at this and easily let it derail me and retract me to the past. And it's not. Like, I felt it coming in. And also will tell you in that, because that doesn't mean it's not going to be something that still unfolds or still releases. Or just because I feel that way like earlier and now I feel this way now, then I might have a sense of, you know, something later as well that comes through. But that's where it's happening to trigger us to release the lower vibrational energies that we had held in from these things, so we can let them go and bring all of this full circle and handle it all in such a new way, and it all becomes very beautiful. So yes, let me know if anything exciting is coming your way as far as reunions go, and make sure to check out the link below for my book, Twin Flame Code Breaker, because I do have it free starting on, it will be from midnight on the 4th to 11:59 p.m. on the 5th, and that's going to be Pacific Standard Time. There will be a link below. It'll be a 24-hour period that you'll be able to get Twin Flame Code Breaker for free. So thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy this powerful, powerful, powerful time that we have. Most importantly, just choose to be in grace with this and choose to stay in your power. I love you all. Thank you so much for your grace, and follow me in your comments. And may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.